Chosen one, this message will change your life forever. This is not an accident. If these words have reached you, it is because God Himself has sent them to you. Your time has come. The wait is over. The financial breakthrough you have been praying for is unfolding now, and nothing can stop it. God said, "Wealth is yours." You have carried burdens, faced struggles, endured seasons of lack, and questioned if your prayers were even heard. But hear this now. God has seen it all, and He has not forgotten you. Every sleepless night, every tear, every moment of faith despite the challenges, heaven has recorded them. And now, the doors are opening. This is the moment where your faith meets fulfillment. The shift has begun. No longer will you just dream of abundance. You are stepping into it. God has always intended for you to walk in prosperity. Not just survival, not just enough, but overflow. This is not about greed or worldly riches. This is about divine provision, kingdom expansion, and the fulfillment of your purpose. You were never meant to live in lack. You were chosen for something greater. Do not ignore this message. This is not just another word of encouragement. This is your confirmation. This is the moment you have been waiting for. Wealth is not coming. It is here. It is yours forever. Chosen one, God's plan for your riches is unfolding now. This is not a distant dream or a vague hope. It is a divine reality that is already in motion. The heavens have spoken, and the decree has gone forth. The abundance that was promised to you is not just a possibility. It is a certainty. You have prayed. You have waited. You have endured the test of time. And now, God is proving His faithfulness. He is lifting you up and setting your feet on the path to overflowing prosperity. Not just for a moment, not just for a season, but forever. There are many who will doubt. There are many who will say that wealth is not for you, that you were meant to struggle, that prosperity belongs only to the few. But God's word is greater than the opinions of men. He has already chosen you. He has already placed favor upon your life, and what He has blessed, no one can curse. Think of the great ones in the Bible. Abraham, Isaac, Joseph, Solomon. They walked in abundance because they walked in obedience. Their wealth was not just about money. It was about divine favor that could not be stopped. Abraham was called to be a father of nations, and God blessed him beyond measure. Joseph went from a prisoner to a ruler, because God had already written his destiny in wealth and authority. And now, your story is being written in the same way. This is your moment. The struggles you have endured have only been preparing you for the magnitude of the blessing that is coming. What was once out of reach is now falling into place. Doors are opening. Resources are being released. The limitations that once held you back are being broken. But here is what you must understand. Wealth is not just about money. True riches come from alignment with God's plan. The moment you walk in faith, the moment you step into obedience, prosperity will chase you down. You won't have to beg for blessings. They will overtake you. God is not calling you to wealth just for your own comfort. He is raising you up to be a blessing. Your success is not just about your life. It is about the lives you will touch, the generations you will lift up, the impact you will leave behind. This is why the enemy has fought you so hard. The enemy knows that if you step into this blessing, it will change everything. He has tried to fill your mind with doubt, with fear, with discouragement, so that you would settle for less than what God has promised. But the time for doubt is over. The time for walking in lack is over. You were made for abundance. You were chosen for prosperity. Now the only question is, will you believe it? Will you step into it? God has spoken. Wealth is yours. Forever. Chosen one, listen closely. You were never meant to live in lack. The world may have tried to convince you that struggle is your destiny, that wealth is for others but not for you. But that is a lie from the enemy. The truth is that God's plan for you has always been abundance, prosperity, and overflow. For too long, you have carried the burden of financial struggle, missed opportunities, and constant hardship. You have wondered why things never seem to change, why breakthrough always feels just out of reach. But today, the chains are breaking. Today, you are stepping into a new reality. The enemy wants to keep you in a poverty mindset because he knows that once you understand who you truly are, once you realize that God has already set aside wealth for you, you will become unstoppable. Think about this. When Jesus spoke of the kingdom of heaven, he never described it as a place of lack. He spoke of overflowing provision, of banquets, of houses built upon solid rock. God does not operate in scarcity. He operates in abundance. And as his child, you have access to that abundance. But here's the key. You must break free from the mindset that tells you that wealth is not for you. You must reject every lie that says you are destined to struggle. The enemy has planted these thoughts in your mind to keep you from receiving what is already yours. Look at Abraham. God called him to be the father of many nations, and he blessed him beyond measure. Look at Solomon. His wisdom and obedience unlocked a level of prosperity that made him the wealthiest king in history. Look at Joseph, betrayed, enslaved, imprisoned, yet in one moment, he was elevated to rule over Egypt. What do all these stories have in common? They prove that God's plan for wealth is not determined by earthly limitations. It is not determined by where you were born, what you have today, or what others think of you. It is determined by God's divine calling over your life. And God is calling you now. You may have grown up in poverty. It does not matter. You may have made financial mistakes. That does not matter. You may have spent years feeling stuck. That does not matter. Because God is a God of restoration, of multiplication, of divine acceleration. He is not just adding to you. He is multiplying. He is not just repairing what was lost. He is restoring beyond what you ever imagined. But you must believe it. You must step into it. Wealth is not something you have to beg for. It is something you were born into as a child of God. But just like an inheritance, you must claim it. The will has been written, the blessing has been declared, but you must step forward and receive it. So the question is, will you? The enemy hopes you will stay in doubt. He hopes you will keep looking at your situation and saying, maybe one day. But God is saying, your time is now. This is not just about your life today. This is about your future, your children, your children's children. The decisions you make now will set the foundation for generations to come. So rise up. Reject the lie of scarcity. Walk in the truth of abundance. God's plan for your riches is unfolding now. Chosen one, you were not meant to beg for blessings. God has already prepared them for you. The wealth you seek, the financial freedom you have been praying for, is not something you have to fight for in your own strength. It is your birthright. From the beginning of time, God created abundance. When He formed the earth, He filled it with gold, silver, and every resource mankind would ever need. He did not create a world of lack. He created a world overflowing with provision. And as His child, you are meant to walk in that abundance. Look at the great men and women of the Bible. Were they left in poverty? No. They walked in favor, in divine provision, in supernatural increase. Why? Because they understood that wealth was part of God's covenant with them. Abraham was promised that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars. And God did not just give him children. He gave him land, resources, livestock, and power. Solomon asked for wisdom, and because his heart was right before God, he received wealth beyond measure. Now, hear me clearly. Wealth is not just about money. It is about access. It is about authority. It is about fulfilling your divine assignment without limitation. The enemy wants to keep you in financial bondage because he knows that a wealthy believer is a dangerous believer. When you have financial freedom, you are no longer bound by survival. You can focus fully on your purpose. You can bless others. You can build the kingdom. You can change lives. This is why the world has tried to convince you that wealth is evil. It is why people have told you that being poor is being holy. But that is not what the Word of God says. God does not want you to serve money. He wants money to serve you. He wants wealth to be a tool in your hands, not a chain around your life. The enemy has tried to make you think that you are destined for just enough, that wealth is for others but not for you. But God is saying, "You are my child, and I take care of my own." Look at the parable of the prodigal son. When he returned home after losing everything, his father did not reject him. He did not make him suffer. He clothed him in the finest robe, put a ring on his finger, and celebrated his return. That is how God sees you. No matter where you have been, no matter what your financial situation looks like, He is ready to pour out His abundance upon you. But here is what you must understand. You must walk in obedience. The wealth of God is not released to those who doubt, those who hesitate, or those who operate in fear. It is released to those who trust Him fully. God's abundance is already set aside for you. It is waiting for you to step into it. Every opportunity, every connection, every open door, it is already in place. But you must position yourself to receive it. How? By shifting your mindset from lack to expectation. By rejecting the lies that tell you that you are not worthy. By standing firm in the belief that if God did it for Abraham, for Isaac, for Joseph, for Solomon, He will do it for you. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not overlooked. You are set apart. The riches of God are not for the few. They are for His children. And you are His child. So claim it. Walk in it. Believe in it. The time of struggling is over. The time of abundance has begun. God's plan for your riches is unfolding now. Step into it. Chosen one, the moment you step into the revelation of your divine wealth, the battle begins. The enemy has no problem with you believing in God, as long as you stay small, as long as you stay struggling, as long as you never realize the power of financial freedom in the hands of the chosen. Why do you think so many people live in financial bondage? Why do you think it feels like every time you try to get ahead, something comes to steal what belongs to you? It is not just bad luck. It is spiritual warfare. The enemy knows that if you remain in lack, you remain distracted. If your mind is consumed with how to survive, how to make ends meet, how to just get through the day, then you have no room left to think about your calling, your purpose, or the greater vision God has for your life. But now that you know the truth, everything changes. You are not just fighting for yourself. You are fighting for your bloodline. You are breaking generational curses of poverty and struggle. The enemy wants to keep your family trapped in the same cycles, but God is saying, no more. You are the one who will shift everything. Look at Joseph. His own brothers betrayed him, sold him into slavery, and left him for dead. The enemy thought he had won. But what the enemy meant for harm, God turned for good. Because Joseph did not give up, because he did not allow hardship to define him, he rose to power and saved his entire family from famine. That is what God is doing in your life. You have been through betrayal. You have been through seasons of loss. You have had moments where you felt abandoned and overlooked. But every single thing you have been through has been preparing you for the moment when God positions you to bless generations. Do you see why the enemy has fought you so hard? He knows that if you receive the wealth God has for you, your entire family's story will change. He knows that if you break free, your children will never know the struggles you endured. This is why the attacks have been relentless. The doubt, the fear, the unexpected losses, they were all meant to keep you from realizing that you are standing on the edge of breakthrough. But hear me now. You are stepping into the wealth that was always meant for you. Nothing can stop what God has already declared. The enemy may try, but he cannot steal what is divinely ordained. So what must you do? You must fight for what is yours. You must reject every lie that tells you that this blessing is not for you. You must refuse to live in fear, in hesitation, in doubt. You must declare with authority, I am chosen. I am favored. Wealth is mine. The battle is already won. But you must walk in victory. Your financial breakthrough is not coming. It is here. God's plan for your riches is unfolding now. Claim it. Chosen one, now that you know the battle for your wealth has already been won, there is only one thing left to do. Walk in it. This is where many people hesitate, not because God has not provided, but because they do not fully believe it is theirs. The enemy does not need to take what belongs to you. He only needs to make you doubt that it was ever yours in the first place. But hear this truth. What God has declared over your life is final. No power, no circumstance, no delay can stop it. Wealth is not something you have to chase. It is something that will chase you when you step into your divine identity. Look at the story of Peter when Jesus told him to cast his net into the water. Peter had fished all night and caught nothing. He was exhausted. He was convinced there was no provision in that sea. But Jesus said, "Cast your net again." And when he did, the catch was so great that his nets began to break. What does that mean for you? It means that wealth is already in the waters of your life. You just have to cast your net again. Some of you have tried and failed. You have worked hard, but nothing seemed to change. You have been discouraged, wondering if abundance is even possible for you. But God is saying, do not give up. Try again. Believe again. Move in faith again. Your blessing is already there. Your net is about to overflow. But here is what you must remember. Wealth is a responsibility. God does not give abundance just for personal comfort. He blesses His chosen ones so they can be a blessing to others. This is why you must be prepared. You must walk in wisdom. Do not allow the world to tell you how to handle the riches God is pouring into your life. Seek Him first. Let Him guide you. This wealth is not just about you. It is about breaking chains for your family. It is about helping others rise. It is about being a light in a world that desperately needs to see what happens when a child of God walks in divine favor. When you move in obedience, when you trust in His plan, when you reject fear and step boldly into the calling over your life, nothing can stop the floodgates from opening. The time for waiting is over. The season of struggle has ended. Now, you walk in overflow. Now, you walk in wealth. God's plan for your riches is unfolding now. Step into it. Chosen one, the moment has arrived. Everything you have heard today has been leading to this. This is your moment of decision. You can either continue living in hesitation, in doubt, in the same cycle that has kept you bound for too long, or you can rise up and take what is already yours. God has already spoken. Wealth is yours. The blessing has already been released. The only thing left is for you to claim it. The enemy has whispered lies for too long. He has told you that this isn't for you. He has made you feel unworthy, unqualified, unprepared. But God is saying, you are more than ready. You are more than worthy. You are my child, and I have chosen you. Look around at your life. You know deep down that you were never meant to struggle like this. You know that God has placed something greater inside of you, something powerful, something that cannot be ignored. That feeling in your spirit, that undeniable pull, is the Holy Spirit confirming that this word is for you. You are standing on the edge of a breakthrough that will change everything, not just for you, but for generations to come. Your children will not know the same struggles you did. Your family will rise. Your legacy will be one of abundance, not lack. But it starts now. It starts with your faith. God is watching for your response. Will you step forward in faith and declare that you receive His abundance? Will you boldly proclaim that you will no longer live in fear and hesitation? Will you move in obedience, trusting that He is making a way even when you cannot see it? Say it now. Declare it over your life. I am chosen. I am walking in my inheritance. Wealth is mine. This is my season. As you speak these words, the atmosphere is shifting. The weight that has been holding you back is breaking. Heaven is responding to your faith. This is not just a message. This is a prophetic declaration over your life. You are about to see the manifestation of everything God has promised you. No more waiting. No more doubting. No more questioning. It is here. It is unfolding now. And nothing will ever be the same again. God's plan for your riches is in motion. Step into it with boldness. Chosen one, your life is changing as we speak. You have carried burdens that were never meant to be yours. You have fought battles in silence, wondering when your time would come. You have watched others step into their blessings, and deep inside, you have wondered, God, when will it be my turn? The answer is now. God's plan for your riches is not something in the distant future. It is already unfolding. The shift has already begun. The prayers you have prayed, the faith you have held on to, the moments when you refused to give up, they have not been forgotten. Heaven has seen every sacrifice, every moment of faith, every step you have taken toward God, even when you did not understand what was happening. And now, He is proving that He was working behind the scenes all along. You will see it with your own eyes. Doors that were once closed will suddenly open. Opportunities you never expected will present themselves. The resources, the connections, the financial increase. Everything you need is already being aligned for you. But hear this. Your wealth is not just for you. God is blessing you to be a blessing. He is giving you financial freedom so you can help others break free. He is entrusting you with abundance because He knows you will use it wisely. This is why your heart must remain focused on Him. The enemy will try to distract you, to make you think that riches are the goal. But wealth is not the goal. Purpose is. Legacy is. Kingdom impact is. Do not let fear make you hesitate. Do not let doubt creep in. You are stepping into the life that was always meant for you. Wealth is not coming. It is here. Favor is not coming. It is here. Your breakthrough is not coming. It is happening right now. Chosen one, you are no longer waiting for your blessing. You are walking in it. And the world will see what happens when a child of God steps into divine inheritance. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your destiny. Wealth is yours. Forever. Chosen one, if this message has spoken to your spirit, let me know. Have you ever felt like wealth and financial freedom were meant for you, but something was holding you back? Have you been waiting for confirmation that your season of breakthrough has arrived? Leave a comment below and declare it. Wealth is mine. Let this be your act of faith, your moment of stepping into the promise that has always been yours. And if you believe that God's plan for your riches is unfolding now, take a moment to like this video and subscribe so you never miss a divine message meant for you. God is moving, and your breakthrough is already here.